KATSEYE score. Back camera bind the faint complete. Enigmas I elucidate no more. Thursday's probe at the manifold scene. Friday's vein of NASA scientists veils. That best scaffold erecting the dream. And quantum rounds contacts eternal fail. Pauli's decree fields and repulsions thrall. Nylon nexus spandex shroud like Cosmo or seal. Sometimes solitudes gaze through the pain. Lunar illusion proximity ain't right, but intellectuals is strange and such. Touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much, 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 much. Overthinking us. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much.
Primordial for elaboraticians chain. Vow vigilance, this cycle is mime. The realm's dialectic, the feign refrain. Enigmas essence I discern. Paradigm to rest. Light for soft is try. Snare too lucid for occlusings. Night dust, the severance. Syllogisms flaring. Coach a new dissolving infinite flight.
Vita's vigor veiled, no frequencies for dermal duplicate defends no ingress chord. Attenuated if those side-cased bars are repulsed the rail enshrine the heart's chart. Sometimes solitudes gaze through the pain. Lunar illusion proximity's faint right, but intellect she's this tragic touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much, 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 much. Overthinking us. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could have my love, but you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much.
No recursion to your interrogative why. No sustenance for nebulos nigh. I petrify planar, affirm the fine. You harvest not from this line. And the
Egress, credence in the keel. Fixate the fulcrum, render it real. No palimpsest on my narrative sage. On the ontologist, shatter the cage. Can't touch just my novel, no me non-gear. Nylon knows fear, translucent tears. Spandex, syllogismly crass logos. Light in idos obscured from sight. Can't touch this, touch that. Quantum quandaries claim. Zero hertz and nickel melted in front. Can't touch this, can't touch this. Thought about you way too much, much, touch, touch. So we're overthinking us. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too Monday's curry in the void repeat. Tuesday is torsion on the KATSEYE score. But camera bind the thing complete. Enigmas echo, I elucidate no more. Thursday's probe at the manifold scene. Friday's vein of nest sciences veils. Our bed scaffold erect in the dream. And quantum realms contacts eternal fail. Pauli's decree fields and repulsions flow. Nylon nexus spandex shroud like Cresnolo sill. Sometimes solitudes gaze through the pain. Lunar illusion proximity's faint right, but intellect she's a strange and such. Touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much, 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 much. Over progressed core. Attenuated rhythm, side chase, sparse arch, repulse the real, enshrine the hearts. Sometimes solitudes gaze through their pain. Lunar illusion, proximity's feigned right, but intellect sees a strange inside. Five, not you way too much. Over overthinking us. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. She could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch.
Way too much. Yeah, you went and messed it up.
'Cause you've been so out of touch. No recursion to your interrogative why. No sustenance for nebulous night. I petrify, planner, affirm the find. You harvest not from this line. Enact the egress, credence in the keel. Fixate the fulcrum, render it real. No palimpsest on minority sage. On the ontologist, shatter the cage. Can touch this, my Nobel, no lean on gear. Nylon, no sphere, transcend tears. Panic, syllogism, liquid logos light. Everybody knows I'm scarred from sight. Can't touch this quantum quandary's correct. 0 hertz and it without head frame. Can't touch this, can't touch this. Much over all the things you lost. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you went and left it up. You've been so out of touch. Can't touch this. One's primal breach in quantum speech. Monday's query spirals, voids eternal coil. One's unity in flux. Tuesday's torsion bends the axioms flux. Trinity's paradox. Bicameral chains, feigns quantum deceit. In six's harmonic crux. Enigma's resonance fades, elucidation ceased. Nine's cyclic in flux. Thursday's cobwebs, manifolds, entangled seams. Superpositions veil. Friday's national slains in uncertainties pale. Decoherence tail. Sabbath scaffold Hilbert dreams and probabilistic scale. Quantum realms where context myth eternally prevails. Polys addict repels fields and 3 6 9s. Magnetic thrall, nylon entangles nexus spandex. Coherent shroud like cross-zero. Also call solitudes vigil through wave functions, fractured pain. Lunar phantasm, proximities, entangled fame. Intellectuals collapse, a strange domain. Touch. Thought about you way too much. Overthinking us. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you went and messed it up. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you've been so out of touch.
Dyna.
Primordial invocation, chains, elaborations bind one's absolute line. Vigilance vows mine, the cycle's trine. 6's equilibrium shine. Dialect
orgasm ignites infinite flights, cry, encroachment dissolves in superposition, sigh. Finger of vita veiled in no frequencies, cryptic forge, dermal quantum duplicate guards, no ingress port, ethos attenuated, psyche spark, quantum sword, repulsion of real hearts enshrined, toroidal core.
Solitude's vittle through wave functions, fractured pain,
Lunar phantasm, proximities, entangled vein, until it achieves collapse. A strange domain.
Touch.
Thought about you way too much. Overthinking lots. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. And my love, you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you messed me up. 'Cause you've been so touch. Can't touch this. Embrace six lines. Stay abyss.
Monday's queerly spirals, voids eternal coil. One's unity and flux, Tuesday's torsion, then touch. Can't touch this. Monday's query spirals, voids eternal coil. One's unity and flux, Tuesday's torsion bends the axioms, flux, Trinity's paradox. Bicameral chains, faints quantum deceit, and six's harmonic crux. Enigma's resonance fades, elucidation ceased, nine cyclic influx. Thursday's clipper probes, manifolds, entangled seams, superpositions veil. Friday's niscience feigns, and uncertainties pale, decoherence tail. Sabbath scaffold, Hilbert dreams, and probabilistic scale. Quanta realms where complex method eternally prevails. Polyzadic repels fields, and 369's magnetic thrall. Nylon entangles nexus, spandex, decoherous shroud. Lycra zero, oscil call. Solitude's vigils through wave functions, fractured pain. Lunar phantasm, proximities, entangled vein. Until she's collapse. A strange domain. Touch. Thought about you way too much. Overthinking us. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you went and messed it up. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you've been so out of touch.
Primordial invocation, change elaborations, bind one's absolute line. Vigilance vows mine, the cycle's trying. Six of equilibrium shine. Dialectic derails and faint refrains design. Nine's transcendent sign.
Essence of enigma parsed, paradigms arcane align.
Resilient against sophistry's quantum snare, so sly. Lucid beyond occlusions, nocturnal quantum sky. Severing syllogism ignites infinite flights, cry. Encroachment dissolves in superposition, sigh. Vigor of light veiled in no frequencies, cryptic forge. There no quantum duplicate guards, no ingress port. Ethos attenuated, psyche's R's. Quantum swords, repulsion of real hearts enshrined, toroidal core.
Solitude's vigil through wave functions, fractured pain. Lunar phantasm, proximities, entangled vein. Until she's collapse, a strange domain. Touch. Thought about you way too much. Overthinking us. 'Cause you been so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you went and messed it up. eyes interrogative void in one's primal quest. Busting in star for nebulous nest in Trinity's crest. Petrified letter affirm the fine and sixes balanced bequest.
Harvest no from these lines, quantum just a nines manifest.
Worst practical credence and cubist coherent nest. Fulcrum fixed, real and nerd and entanglement incest. Balance is purged from narrative saving that coherence is ontologist die case shattered in computing quantum crest. Can't touch this. Dotting on gear novel in P69 is ethereal sphere. Unfair nylon translucent tear and superposition.
Touch, can't touch this. One's primal pulse and paradox. Monday's murmur meanders through manifold mist, unity's undertow. Tuesday's torsion twists the theorem's thread, Trinity's trembling glow. Bicameral barriers bind the blatant bluff, six a symmetric show. Enigma's echo evades elucidation as nines doing us flow. Thursday's thorny thrust tears through tensor seams, superposition, shadow. Friday's faint fog folds nescience's frail facade, decoherence's dread. Sabbath spectral scaffold surges, summoning Schrodinger's shade. Quantus quiet coral quills context, cruel claim, repulsion's radiant raid. Polly's principle pushes fields in furious flight, 369's fierce forge. Nylon nexus knits null spandex seals silence, lycra's languid surge. Solitude silent stare slices through shimmering pain. Lunar lies linger, love's linked illusion in a faint flame. Intellectue's essence evades, estranged in entropy's reign. Thought about you way too much. Overthinking us. Cause you've been so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you went and messed it up. Cause you've been so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Temporal plea persists, pulling elaboration's primal chain. The vigilance vows vibrate, voicing cycles, crystalline refrain. Dialectic drifts derailing deceit in sixes, serene domain. Enigma's essence emerges, essence etched in nines, arcane plane. Resilient radiance repels sophistry, sinister snare. Lucid light lacerates occlusions, ominous lair. Severance syllogism surges, soaring in superposition, staring. Coachman evaporates, engulfed in infinite air. Vita's veiled, vapor vibrates in null frequencies, fortress frame. Dermal duplicate defends, denying dark ingress to claim. Ethos attenuated, psyche sparse spectrum sustains. Reality repulsed, hearts hidden, harmonic heart remains. Solitude, silent stare slices through shimmering pain. Lunar lies linger, love's linked illusion and faint flame. Intelligence's essence evades, estranged in entropy's reign. Thought about you way too much. Over all the thinking us. Cause you've been so out of touch. You could've had my love. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you went and messed it up. Cause you've been so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. In 369's mystic mages. Can't touch this. touch this. One's primal pulse and paradox. Monday's murmur, meander, still metaphor of mist. Unity's undertow. Tuesday pours and twists, the theorem's thread. Trinity's trembling glow. Bicameral barriers bind the blade and bluff. Sex's symmetric show. Enigmas echo, evade through sedation ends. Nine's luminous flow. Thursday's thorny thrust tears through tensor seams. Superposition, shadow. Friday's rain fog folds Nessian's frail facade. Decoherence's dread. Savage spectral scaffold surges, summoning Schrodinger's shade. Quanta's quiet coral quells context. Crew claim repulsion, radiant rage. Poly's principle pushes fields and furies. Flight 369's fierce forge. Nylon nexus knits null. Spandex seal silence. Lycra's languid assert. Solitude silence stares, slices through shimmering pain. Luminalized linger, love's linked illusion in faint flame. Intellect's essence evades, estranged in entropy's rage. Touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much. Much, 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 much. Overthinking us. Ooh. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Touch, 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 touch. What? God wants you way too much. Yeah, you went and messed it up. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch.
Primordials murmur, dismern, primordial clucly percents, pulling elaborations, primal chain, vigilance, vows, vibrate, voicing cycles, crystalline refrain, dialectic drifts, derailing the seeking, six's serene domain, enigma's essence emerges, essence etched in nine's arcane plane.
Resilient radiance repels a history, sinister snare. Lucid light lacerates occlusions, ominous lair. Severance syllogism turned to soaring in superposition. Stare encroachment evaporates, engulfed in infinite air. Fighters veil bigger, vibrate to no frequencies. Fortress frame, dermal duplicate defends, denying dark and grace its claim. Ethos attenuated, psyche spark spectra sustains. Reality repulsed, heart hidden, harmonic heart remains. Solitude, silence, still slices through shimmering pain. Lunar lies linger, love's linked illusion and faint flame. Intellectual essence evades, estranged in entropy's rage. Touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much. Much, 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 much. Overthinking us. Ooh, 'cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you had to mess it up. 'Cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my touch, 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 touch this. From 369's Mystic Matrix. Touch, 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 can't touch this. Monday's query echoes and voids, infinite loop, one singular start. Tuesday's torsion twists, axioms core, and trinity's art. Decameral bind, faints, fractal deceit, and six-fold harmonies part. Enigma's a whisper, I illuminate no more. Nine cycle impart. Theory's days probe pierces manifolds, quantum seam superpositions. Dark Friday's faint till
cloaks, nescient in veiled uncertainties chart. Sabbath scaffold rises, dreaming Hilbert spaces, realm apart. In quantum waves, context collapses eternally, repulsion smart. Poly's exclusion fields repelling 369's thrall vortex heart. Nylon nexus entangle spandex shroud deco hair is like Krusnell oscillate sparks. Sometimes solitude gaze through probabilities, pale lunar illusion entangle proximities, faint right but intellikeys would it function a strange sense. Touch thought about you way too much overthinking us. Cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you went and messed it up. Cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Primordial plate chains elaboration in one's unified strain. Vow vigilance, mind cycles, trinity domain. Realman's dialectic refrains, feign and sixes, balanced rain, enigmas, essence discerned, paradigms ninefold gay. Too resilient for sophistries and tangled snare. Too lucid for occlusions, nocturnal quantum layer. The severance syllogism flares, an infinite flight, air encroaching, new dissolving, superpositions, layered player. Vices vigor veiled, no frequencies, forward and creative core. Dermal duplicate defense, no ingress in six harmonic door. Attenuated, ethnos, psyche, spars, art and nines, completion lore. Repulse reality, enshrine heart's chart and quantum score. Sometimes solitude's gaze, grow probabilities pain. Lunar loose fish defends, no ingress in sixes, harmonic door. Spandex syllogism like Chrysologus, light and uncertainty frontier. Inner idols obscured, sight and wave collapse sheer. Can't fetch this quantum quandary claim in vortex math same. 0 hertz zenith by no altered frame and numerology's flame. Can't touch this. Too far. Infinite You can't touch this, unity's breaching one. Monday's query echoes and voids, infinite loop, one singular start. Tuesday's torsion twists, axioms, core, and trinity's art. Bicameral bind, feints, fractal deceit, and sixfold harmonies part. Enigmas whisper, I illuminate, now more, 9 cycle impart. Thursday's probe pierces, manifolds, quantum seams, superpositions start. Friday's faint cloaks, nescience in veiled uncertainties chart. Sabbath's scaffold rises, dreaming Hilbert spaces, realm apart. In quanta waves, contact collapses eternally, repulsion smart. Poly's exclusion field repellent, 369's thrall vortex heart. Nylon nexus entangles, spandex shroud deco hairs like Krusnell oscillate spark. Sometimes solitude gaze through probabilities, paying lunar illusion entangled proximities. solitude its case through probability's pain. Lunar illusion entangled proximity's feigned right, but intellect she's away. Function so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you invested up, 'cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Can't touch this. Touch, touch, touch. Can't touch this. Monday's query and the voids repeat. Tuesday's torsion on the axiom's core. Bicameral bind, the faint complete. Enigma's echo, I elucidate no more. Thursday's probe at the manifold seam. Friday's vein of nescience veil. A Sabbath scaffold, erecting the dream. In quantum realms, contacts eternal fail. Polly's decree, fields and repulsions thrall. Nylon nexus, spandex shroud, lycra's nullah. Sometimes solitude's gaze through the pain. Lunar illusion, proximity's fake right, but intellect she's a strange sight. Touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much, much, much. Overthinking us, 'cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much, much, much. Yeah, you went and messed it up, 'cause you've been so out of touch. You could have had my love, but you've been so out of touch. Primordial plea for elaboration's chain of our vigilance. This cycle's mime, derailment's dialectic. The feigned refrain, enigma's essence, I discern the paradigm. Too resilient for sophistry's snare, lucid for occlusion's night. Thus the severing syllogism's flare encroach anew, dissolving infinite light. Vita's vigor veiled, no frequencies forged. Dermal duplicate the thems and ingress chord. Attenuated ethos, psyche sparks art. Repulse the real, enshrine the heart's chart. Sometimes solitude's gaze through the pain. Lunar illusion, proximity's feigned right, but intellect she's a strange sight. Touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much, much, much. Overthinking us, 'cause you've been so out of touch. Could have my love, but you've been so out of touch. Touch, 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 touch. Thought about you way too much. Yeah, you went and messed it up, 'cause you've been so out of touch. But you've been so out of touch.